Morning guys, so today we are going to look at Judas by Fozzy. In amongst all the madness, I hope everyone's obviously keeping well, keeping safe in these sort of weird times. But at least we're back today to have a look at another lesson. For those that don't know Fozzy, it's a band created by the wrestler Chris Jericho, who's sort of rose again to prominence just lately in the latest promotion at AEW. So this song is becoming slightly more popular, it seems. Noticing it being searched on Facebook a lot just lately, and on obviously over on YouTube. So thought I'd drop a lesson on it for people to learn and play along. But before we get into the lesson, as always, don't forget to give me a cheeky like and a cheeky subscribe. It's helping massively with the channels that we've got going on, allowing us to run yet another competition over on the Facebook page, where we're giving away an Ibanez GRG121 at the moment. So something a bit different to the last time. So if you're not over there, hop over there, have a bit of a nose. But in the meantime, let's get into this lesson and let's learn this song. Okay, so as we jump into the lesson, you're going to need to be in drop C tuning for this one. Something different to what I usually do, obviously. So for drop C, folks, you need to be taking your lowest string up here, 6th string, take it all the way down to C, okay, and then we're going G, C, F, A, and D on your, what would be your high E string usually. The old sort of medley grungy tone coming out of it, okay. For the majority of this song, it's a lot of double stops, a lot of power chords, with one slightly trickier, involved bit of muting down here. Bit of muting that we'll go over down there. But for the most part, it is just your usual sort of power chords, 1 finger jobby, 2 fingers, maybe 3. So we'll go over that and let's see where we go. So to start the song, they've obviously got the sort of intro, the fuzzy part, and then we get into the main crux, which sounds something like this. Nice and simple to start off with, okay? So you're going to take your first finger and you're going to come up to your 2nd fret here, this little box here, okay? Cover your first 3 strings, your top 3 strings, okay? 6, 5, and 4. And you're just going to go twice on there. All down strokes, okay? For this part. And then slide up to your 5th. Again. And you repeat that, okay? Just repeat it 3 times, and then on that 3rd time, instead of coming back down to the 2, you go up to the 6. Okay? Still on that those lowest 3 strings. Okay, chug away on that 6th fret. And then as you release, hit again for the open. Bit slower. Okay. And that's just your main opening, should I say. And the same thing continues with the verse. It's just that he's palm muting throughout. So again, for those that haven't seen a lot of my other videos, which involve a lot of palm muting, that is where you take the fleshy side of your palm, just here, okay? And you want to be laying it across sort of this section here, just here, along here, lightly, just where your bridge, where your strings start to come over, okay, just here. And you lightly rest your fatty part of your palm, so you get the okay, you can hear the notes being picked out, as it were, but they don't ring out, as it were. So for the main verse, you are palm muting, as I say, and it will sound something like this. Right, so the palm muty part, we're still up on the 2nd fret up here, and you're just sort of chugging all down still, you can, okay? So you're just hitting it 4 times, finger off, so you've got the open, and then 4 again. And then release your palm slightly, so you're no longer muting, and just come up to the 5th. So you'll have this. And then we come back down and do the muting again. And then we slide all the way up to the 10th fret. Okay. Again, just use one finger. We're still on those lowest 3 strings, 6, 5, and 4. So you're hitting that 10th twice. And then come down to your 7th. So all together you'll have this. Okay, and then we'll just do it once more through. And then you've got the main bridge. Okay, so this is coming into the chorus. It will sound like this. And again, nice and simple, okay? So we're still using one finger on those lowest of your 3 strings. Up at 2. Then to 4. 5. 7. Then back down to 2. 4 again. And then this time miss the 5 and go straight to the 7. Okay, nice and slow. One more time. 2, 4, 5, 7. 2 again. 4 and 7. Okay, and then we're going back to that beginning sort of riff that we went over between 2 and 5, so like this. Okay, so that's just, again, 2 hits on the 2, up to your 5. And you're doing that 4 times, okay? And then we come to the fiddly a bit, okay? Which will sound a little bit like this. Right, so what's going on this part? Okay, we'll get a bit closer here for you. So what we're doing here, okay, we're taking our first finger on the 5th string at your 9th, okay, 9th fret. But what you're going to want to do is try and get, I don't know if you can see that, try and get your 6th string to be touching your first finger, because then you're effectively muting it. Okay, so you're muting it. There's no ring out from that 6th string. Okay, and then you can either take your ring, okay, ring finger, or your pinky, which I prefer to do personally, and you're doing the same, but you're down on that 3rd string. Okay, 3rd string on the 11th fret. Okay, pinky down or your 3rd finger. And again, you can either try and mute that 4th string using the tip of your ring or your pinky, or the way I'm doing it here, which is I've got the 6th string resting at the top of my 1st finger, and then that 4th string is just sort of touching the meat, the pad of my 1st finger to mute it. So I've got this sort of sound. Okay, you can't hear those other strings, okay? And then when we add in the string that my pinky's on. Okay, so as you can hear, you can only hear those 2 strings ringing out. Okay, you can't hear the ones that we're muting, which is what we're trying to go for here. Okay, and all you're doing is you're just chugging on that. And then you're coming up a half step so that your little finger, or your ring, as I say, is on the 12th fret, and your 1st finger is going to be sitting on that 10th fret. Okay, So again, if I come in, I'll try and, there you go. So you can see how my fingers laid out there, look. So it's this one here and this one here that are touching, okay? These two have no sort of use at the moment. All right, so from, again, going from the chord, the main part of the chorus. So you're up on your 2 again. 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, and then down, or up the neck if you prefer. Up half step. And then we're going back down to your 2s and your 5s. 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5. Back against that 9th. And then we're moving it down a whole step, okay? So your first finger now, as you can see, is going to be sitting on your 7th fret, and your ring or your little finger, depending on how you want to play it, is on the 9th fret. Still muting your 6th and your 4th strings. So that part is fiddly, okay? It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. It's something a little bit trickier, especially on those mutes. You're going to find a lot of the time, at least when you're trying to get your head around it, you know, you're going to have... It's just going to take a moment for you to get to grips of where your fingers need to be to get that mute sound. Don't get frustrated with it, okay? Don't sit there thinking, oh, I'm not going to get it. You just got to practice, and you will get the mutes, and you will get that. You will get the right sound, okay? So just stick with it. So let's go back over the chorus. We'll go back over it at a slow enough speed for you, okay? So back up, hit your 2s. Okay, and then we go back to nice 1-finger exercises, okay? So we're coming up to the 10th fret with 1 finger, again, your lowest 3 strings. Okay, so once we've come through that sort of bridging section with your fiddly bit, you come into the 10th fret, as I said, and you just sort of... And from there we go down to the 2. And there's 2 ways you can do this. Okay, I prefer to slide my finger and just use 1 finger up at the 12th fret. Although if you want to play note for note the actual song, it's a 7th fret, a 5th fret power chord. I'm more rhythm, as I say, so I prefer that lower bassy tone. I prefer to be up on the 12th. It's just easier to get to and from where you need to be on the neck. Okay, so slowly, as we're coming off of the whole... Onto your 10th. 2. 12. And again, 10. 2. And 12. And we're just repeating that opening that we did, the 2s, the 5s, over again, okay? Up to your 6, don't forget. And end on nothing. And then he's back into the 2nd verse where we're doing the muting again. Okay, and it just repeats that way through. Okay, you do come to a solo section There's multiple ways that people are playing this. I play it slightly differently to how it's supposed to be done, to how it's done note for note. I mean, note for note, you are going 2, 10, and 9. So you're still using one finger, okay? On your lowest 3 strings, and it's just, again, 2, to your 2nd fret, 10, and then 9. And then it's 5, 7, 4. Okay, so we have this. And then you're supposed I say, okay, to do a set of power chords off of your, I believe it's the 9th, no, sorry, forgive me, it's the 7th fret. 7th fret power chord, and you're going 7, 6, 7. So for your power chords, those that don't know, take your first finger. This time we're coming down to our 5th string. Okay, first finger down. And then you need to go up a whole step for the next 2 strings. So strings number 4 and 3. And you need to be on your 9th fret, which I do, as you can see, with just my ring. Some people do it with ring and pinky, whichever you feel most comfortable with, okay? And you're going 7, 6, 7. So this finger, 7, 6, 7, okay? So you're just going between those. And then they come up so that your first finger is on the 9th fret, okay? And then your remaining sort of ring or ring and pinky will be on the 11th. So 7, 6, 7, up to 9, and then 7, 6, 7 again. So nice and slow. From the top, we're going 2, 10, 9, okay? 5, 7, 4. Now, I play a variation on that myself, just because I don't really, if I'm completely honest, like how it sounds. But if you want note for note, that is how you're doing the note for note part of the solo. And then you are going back into the whole chorus section. Okay, and that is pretty much the entirety of the song. Those chords, just go back through the video, work your way through. For the most part, as I say, you're just using one finger on the lowest 3 strings. Okay, apart from that fiddly bit, which you may need to get to grips with, but it's going to teach you sort of a new skill. You're going to learn to mute a couple of strings using your finger instead of your palm, and it's going to, you know, it's going to open up some new chords to you at the end of the day, rather than just doing, you know, one finger exercises or power chords. I mean, the whole shape that we've got down here is a shape similar that's used in Everlong by the Foo Fighters, for example. So again, it's a good shape to learn, and it will lead you into learning other songs as well. So you may as well get to grips with it, learn something new. Again, as always with this, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting my channel. As always, don't forget the usual cheeky like and cheeky subscribe. Leave me comments. I don't mind. I'll respond to anything, just about anything. Just be careful with what you're asking me. And yeah, I'll come back with another lesson. I will try and do some midweek stuff. It's obviously a little bit difficult at this point in time, but we'll try and come back with something new. If you're not over on our other channels, by all means, check out Facebook over at Fat Bloke Does Guitar. We're running competitions over there. We've got a nice little community starting to grow. People get involved with various bits over there, so please join us over there as well. Make some suggestions for what you want to hear, what lessons you want to learn, and we'll try and learn something new for next time. Take care in the meantime, guys.